Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. Acquittal! I quit. Seriously, we have the dude on television telling his people to, quote, fight like hell, march to the Capitol. We have him lying about election fraud 6 months before the election. You know what? It was like he saw the future that he told his people to create. The dude is like a diabetic Miss Cleo.
I will continue. I will not allow them to stop me. I will teach as a shaman and help those who seek the knowledge.
With treason. And on Saturday, the Republicans let him off the hook. The dude, he crimed, he tried to overthrow the government, tried to install himself as a dictator, committed treason. And after the amazing case presented by the House managers, we were served up a word salad by his lawyer, Bruce Castor, that honestly rivaled a favorite uncle trying to hide a meth addiction at a family reunion. The case was a slam dunk. We had video and statements and recordings of cops scared out of their minds. A mob chased them and caught them, and beat some of them. 140 officers injured. And then these mostly diabetic, pudgy military surplus obese sea lions were all sent by a man claiming the election was rigged. And this was the one before he won. He also claimed was rigged. And then the Emmys were rigged. And the Mueller report was rigged. And the bankrupt casinos were rigged. And his 34 sexual assault cases, well, they actually happened and they're in court right now.
And I said, this system is rigged.
It's a rigged system. It's a rigged system. It's a rigged system.
Thousands of votes that were taken away.
It's one of the biggest ways that our system is rigged.
These polls are rigged.
The Republican deal was rigged.
Because it's a rigged system, folks.
Ay, what a rigged deal this is.
He didn't get an Emmy for his TV program 3 years in a row, and he started tweeting that the Emmys were rigged.
I will say that the Republicans in Congress are definitely rigged. They have to be. A mob was sent by their boss to kill them, and they voted to acquit him. Unbelievable. Imagine you're at your busboy job at the local Chili's, and the manager, who is stealing all the profits from the garlic cheese fries, he knows that He knows he did it, and he will be fired. So he sends tables 12, 6, and 5 to go kill you. At his trial for your attempted murder, you not only don't press charges, but act as a character witness and then write a letter to corporate asking for the manager who tried to kill you to get promoted in 4 years. What's amazing is how they said that Trump's thing was constitutionally incorrect. It was incorrect to impeach someone after he left office, except he was impeached in office. And the reason the trial didn't happen in office is because this guy said he wouldn't let the trial happen while Trump was in office. Then, after voting to acquit Trump, he said this.
President Trump is still liable for everything he did while he was in office as an ordinary citizen, unless the statute of limitations is run.
Still liable for everything he did while he was in office. He didn't get away with anything yet. We have a criminal justice system in this country. We have civil litigation, and former presidents are not immune from being accountable by either one. I would also like to say I would vote for the COVID relief bill. There was a provision for me to get a free 10 pounds reduction and use your skin to make a flesh zeppelin. I yield my time.
Mitch McConnell. When you want it both ways. The only good news is that Mitch gave the green light to prosecute Trump. And to be honest, it was the most bipartisan impeachment in the history of America, with 7 Republican senators voting to end Trump and his shot at future office. And to those senators, I would like to say thank you for having the integrity to vote for something you knew that would never go through anyway. Good job. So as of now, Trump can run again in 2024. And we as a country that was put through a hellish 4 years of his presidency can only hope that Taco Bell takes care of his aorta before the voters take care of him. I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update.
That email to her. I type way faster than you.
3, 2, 1.
We're live streaming, by the way.
Just want to let you guys.
Hey, everybody, Christopher Titus Podcast. You missed the pre-argument, although we filmed it, so I'm sure he will put a piece of it in. With me, as always, the lovely Bombshell Ray.
What's up, people?
And the Hylinder.
There could be only one.
Yes, there can. We are continuing on, soldiering on with the podcast in a way with the new Biden administration, which seems a lot easier, honestly. COVID cases are down. We've heard they're doing 1.7 million vaccines a day right now, and he's 3 weeks in.
And during Trump time, we were doing 7 vaccines a day.
Yeah, it wasn't even 7. It was 7. It was 5, and then Jared Kushner was selling the other 2 of every 7 to somebody else. It was funny to me is that Biden hasn't said shit. Texas had this horrible winter below polar vortex storm, snow on the ground in like southern Texas. Yep. And Biden instantly sent FEMA and instantly sent emergency funds. Yep. And Texas didn't vote for him. Yep. And
didn't tweet, I sent a lot of money.
He didn't tweet a picture of himself in a cowboy hat with a fistful of cash. Yeah, exactly.
And also, though, wasn't Abbott the one that didn't think that the federal government should be getting involved when it came to a crisis?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Socialism.
Yeah. Well, that's the whole thing. And Ted Cruz was talking about when we had the fires and our electrical grid had problems. He goes, California can't even run their electricity. It's so funny.
Because you didn't mention that, but the power is out all over Texas. Do you know
that I'm learning this, and especially I need to learn this, that being an asshole out loud or in writing it down will haunt you every time. Every time. It
doesn't matter with the GOP. Even Lindsey Graham says, remind me of this, play this tape. And then they do.
And it didn't do a damn thing. No, it didn't do a damn thing. It's scary to me that we have a bunch of people that don't give a shit. Like, really don't care. I was talking to my buddy Billy today, and before you showed up, and I was telling him why I'm Democrat now, and I didn't used to be. It's because they're about inclusion. Even when they do something stupid, it's because they're trying to make everybody part of it. They're never trying to, whereas the Republicans are exclusion. They're like, get the fuck away. No, it's our money. Don't touch it. We're going to give us tax cut. It'll trickle down to you eventually. Eventually, you'll get something. That's our tax dollars, bro. Shh.
Only my marriage counts.
Yes, only my marriage
isn't real. You shouldn't be allowed to do that.
Right. I need to tell you what to do with your body. You know, exactly. So I've got this thing where everything that our founding fathers put in the document about our society, slave owners at the time, they didn't quite get it. But their ideal was all men created equal and we're all the same. And freedom.
Ish.
Freedom.
Ish.
all white men created equal.
I think John Adams whited that out. I think he whited it out. And it's been whited out for a couple hundred years. In fact, they continue to white it out. Yes. And that's what they're scared about right now is that they're getting whited out. The whites are getting whited out. But it's always to help to make the country better, to go to the next level. Even tech. I mean, if you look at Democrats, like all the Republicans, they want oil and no regulations and destroy the water and destroy the air. And whether you think I'm a liberal or not, I want to drink good water. I don't want to drink poison water. You?
Did you know that's why Texas has their own electrical system?
That's part of the reason.
Because they don't want it to be regulated.
Texas has their...
And yet he came on his knees begging for money and assistance.
But they are not connected to the United States electrical grid. Texas has its own. With all the oil money, with all the infrastructure that Texas has, to have it go out instantly because it got chilly is pretty crazy to me. And I think we are seeing to watch these guys with this trial they just did, and to watch Texas come apart, and to also see the cases of COVID right now down that center of the country where it's all red. You got to start asking yourself, why is that? Why does it seem that these policies of anger and cruelty, that's what Billy said. Billy said cruelty. He goes, I don't vote Republican anymore, and I was a registered Republican because of cruelty. It's cruelty-based. You have to start going, why are you a Republican? I just wanted to, what exactly worked for you?
I think I've said this before, but my nieces grew up in an extremely conservative right-wing, more than conservative family. And do you remember we went to visit them one time and they stayed in our hotel room with us that night, and they were young teenagers, right. And they're just processing things as it appears. They don't have all this extra shit piled on top yet. And remember, one of our nieces said they're just so mean.
Yeah.
Republicans are just nasty, and they're always angry, and they're mean, and I don't want to be a part of that,
Right.
which they couldn't say to their parents. So they were coming to us like, please help us.
And that's why we're not allowed to see those children anymore.
True. But I just thought how interesting from a child's mind.
Yep.
It's very
They recognize
clear.
it, yeah.
And they were talking about Donald. It was at the beginning of Donald Trump and all of that they just put it very clearly. They're just mean.
Yeah.
They're angry and mean.
Right. And that's not, it does, and they don't get anything done. Like, here's the thing. I can deal with angry and mean. They always talked about Mussolini, the trains ran on time. Well, that ain't happening either.
Yeah.
The power in Texas went down. They can't pass any bills to help us. They didn't do it. They had 4 years, didn't do infrastructure. They didn't get and built the wall. They didn't get anything. They had no health care plan. Like, they did nothing they said they were going to do.
I'm not a big fan of this kind of stuff,
What?
you know, being like, well, they suck and they suck and we're
Wait.
and yet I'm listening to you and it's true. And so I'm very confused by what has happened to that party in the last 5 years.
Right, I'm facts-based. Listen, I'm the opposite too. So listen to this. I'm facts. I'm sorry. I'm fact-based. See, clearer, isn't it? Had they done all that, I think Trump would still be president, but also he would be a different human being. Like,
Right.
to get it all, like, you
That
couldn't
wouldn't have
have
happened.
this guy, this lazy guy who watched TV till 2 in the afternoon and did nothing, and they got healthcare passed, infrastructure passed, jobs went up, COVID got handled.
Right.
I mean, the list
it's equal.
I didn't even bring up COVID. I didn't even bring up they did nothing about
The
COVID.
bungling,
So again, I don't have a problem with you're a Republican. I have a problem with, in the fact-based world we live in, why? Like, if you had a company let's say you did business with a company and they supplied you with shit and they were as efficient as the Republican Party was the last 4 years, you would never use that company again. You'd be like, nah, can't, no, why? Because everything they said they were going to do didn't happen. When they did turn shit in, they didn't get it done. And so I just keep asking myself, I'm a Democrat currently right now for 2 reasons. They seem to get shit done. And whether you agree with them or not, they're trying to get shit done. And even if you look at the bills, it's to help normal Americans. The Republicans seem to actually just go, guys, and they've said this all the way back to Reagan, trickle down economics. If we give rich people, I said it in one of my specials, if we give rich people more money, then you'll get more money.
You know, I
What?
just want to point out again, I think we need to say this, that it was 4 years, 5 including him running.
Yep.
On getting rid of the ACA
Right.
and introducing a new plan.
Healthcare plan every 2
right.
weeks.
And we still haven't seen it. And the only evidence that we had that maybe they were even thinking about it was, what's her dumb face cheerleader,
Sarah Palin.
McEnany,
Oh, McEnany.
handed Leslie, what's her name, on
A
60
binder this
Minutes,
thick.
a binder that they opened and it was blank pages.
They'd
inside
filled
of
it with blank pages.
That's unbelievable.
What a
Unbelievable.
great-
No, it's believable.
But what a great metaphor for the GOP.
And
Yes.
then when they were attacked for that and made fun of that for that in the news, what would you do, right? You would scramble and you would put one out and go, this is what it was. They're lying. Here is our plan.
Yeah.
Wrong binder.
And they still...
Right. We just didn't have it printed up yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was my sketchbook.
Kinko.
Yeah.
These are the ideas.
Kinko screwed it up. We sent these aides.
They still never, even in the face of being called on that
Yep.
in debates,
Yep.
even with news media making fun of them for that, they
Nothing.
still
Nothing.
haven't. Nothing.
And-
but what he did do is start dismantling the healthcare program that we have.
Right.
But didn't put any. I am so baffled by that. Again, if you're gonna, you said fact based, and I think I hate the "they suck, we're better" argument, but that's a massive.
But let's take
As
it
a
whole,
because
yeah.
Eisenhower's Republican, and he did an amazing job for the country. The social
It was
programs
a
got
Different kind of
party.
Republican.
Yes.
Different. Yeah.
But still, that's a Republican. He was a Lincoln
Right,
Republican.
right,
I mean, we have the interstate highway system because of Eisenhower.
Mm-hmm.
I have no problem voting for an Eisenhower. I think Mitt Romney, honestly, because let's just say, I'm not going to say all Republicans. This current group of douchebags that are in Congress that are Republican, including Marjorie Taylor Greene and Boebert, which the lunatic, you want to talk about the lunatic fringe? This is the fringe of the fringe. They are not people that I want leading,
No.
and they get nothing done. McConnell had 300 bills on his desk. Imagine doing your job, people, where basically your boss came in and goes, because we're about to get, hey man, all this shit on your desk, are you going to do anything with it?
Nope. Not doing it. Not going to touch it. I clocked out. I yield my time.
It's like if we pass that stuff, then we have a record of all these guys being evil and mean and voting against people's best interests. So we can't do that. So I'm not, guys. Listen to me. I don't. If we had a Republican in office right now that was kicking ass, I'd be like, I got no problem with it. This is obviously, he has a different view on certain things, but he does a job for us. Everybody has forgotten. These guys have become celebrities now because of the internet and because they've become celebrities now. I used to never know what the fuck any congressman looked like or heard.
Right.
But they're more about clicks and social media than they are
especially Trump.
About legislating.
He's just a
but Matt
ratings
Gaetz
guy.
and Lindsey Graham, and you got Boebert and Marjorie Taylor, and I try to think of the Democrats who are just beating the shit out of it. They never seem to be doing it for look at me. Matt Gaetz is doing it for look at me.
Yes.
And they don't legislate. Marco Rubio, look at his legislative record. How long has Marco Rubio been around? 15 years? Nothing. He's done nothing.
I don't know how long he's been around because we didn't used to know.
Right.
I have only come to know these people in the last 5 years, really.
Because of social media.
And because of Donald Trump, it became this, it was this whole, and Fox, and what's the other dumb cheerleader's name that made the tight pants with holsters in them? Workout pants.
Tommy Lauren.
Tommy Lauren.
Yeah. That vacant twazzle.
That whole generation of those people, that's a Matt Gaetz kind of person. Yeah. It's be as shocking and salacious as possible, get more followers, and then get a Fox hosting job or get elected to Congress or whatever.
And then monetize that.
It's crazy.
They've stopped helping the American public. I would definitely say this. And what again, talking to Billy, we were having this argument. Not an argument. We're being told by people all the time it's both sides.
Right.
And I don't see that. I mean, explain. By the way, people, please write in and tell us both sides. And I'm sure there's going to be one or two things. Like they were talking about that Biden went to Camp David and was playing video games with his grandkids, and they're like, "Oh, look, he's just screwing off." He took a weekend. He's in office today on Monday. He took a 3-day weekend with his grandkids at Camp David. He didn't go to his resort and charge the Secret Service $2 million to play golf. He went to the presidential retreat where they happen to have Mario Kart set up.
And this is a weekend.
Yeah. And it's not
holiday weekend.
Yeah, it's a holiday weekend.
Yeah.
President's Day, for God's sake.
That's his
Can
day.
we go down the list?
Wait, can he not take that day off?
He doesn't get that day off. He has to work overtime.
Isn't that the one day?
So now they're looking at anything they can, and it is pretty weak sauce, I got to be honest. But I want to be clear that I am not... Listen, as Bruce Springsteen said in the box set, I forget what concert it was, blind faith, he was doing War. The lead into War off the box set then is blind faith and your leaders or in anything will get you killed, is one of the lines. And I don't have that. I am fact-based. That my faith, I don't have faith in politicians. Show me what you did. Show me how long you did it for. Show me why you did it. And show me that you didn't profit from it. Okay, I like that guy. That's it. It's not a high bar.
No.
But I just have to say, you have to admit, Biden has gone into office and just been like, he's just signing shit and every day, working every day.
I love that he kept working throughout the impeachment trial, whereas if Donald Trump were in office and anything was happening on TV, he was watching TV all day.
And tweeting about it.
And tweeting nasty things.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
That's what I do. I'm not the president. I'm a douchebag comedian.
I get to react to things.
Exactly. That's what I do.
But Biden, we didn't really hear from him or see him. And then he was like, I got 200 million more coronavirus vaccine doses. And it was like, we didn't even have to see him.
Yeah.
He was we know that he was working because we have proof that he was working.
He didn't even say that. He sent Psaki out to just go, by the way, we've ordered 200,
you don't have to
200 million more. Psaki? I don't know. When I see it, Psaki.
Jin Psaki.
John Psaki.
Like psychology? Do you say psychology?
I do. Because I'm not smart.
Psychiatrist.
By the way, I have to use the Pahone.
What did you call the movie with Norman Bates?
Psycho? Psycho. By the way, that's a good movie. That's with Chris Rock.
Actually, it would be because...
Psycho.
Or Psycho.
Psycho.
Yeah, that's it.
Psycho.
Dumb guy.
Remember when Ryan did that? When he said Givenchy, Givenchy was Givenchy?
I was wearing a Givenchy t-shirt and Ryan said,
And he said it seriously?
Oh, yes.
That's great.
Oh, yes.
That's great.
Givenchy. Oh, Ryan.
Psycho. No, I will never not say it like that.
Psycho.
So Biden's doing a great job. His rating, they said his approval rating currently right now overall is 62%. Trump's highest rating ever was 47%.
Huh.
He's been on the job 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And you're still following the psycho Republicans? 71% of Republicans think that Trump did not have anything to do with the thing. We look it up. With the insurrection, they said that Republicans now believe Biden had something to do with the insurrection.
Holy shit.
I know. Lunatics.
Wait, Republicans
I can't anymore.
Q
Look it up.
People?
No, they're saying like it was higher. They said 36% of Trump supporters, these aren't the exact numbers, but it was less people thought that Trump was responsible for the insurrection on the Republican side than they thought Biden was responsible. They said Biden was responsible for it. And someone pointed out today on Twitter, yeah, he won the election. Of course he was.
right. Well, by default,
if you go back far enough.
Right.
Wow. I
Stunning.
You know what was interesting when Trump's defense was showing the video and claiming that the Democrats, mixed up the editing, and he showed the video of what Trump said, and I'm watching it going, yeah,
they did that.
He fucking said it.
But by the way, he's an editor.
He just so they cut it right there. But he just said what
he didn't
just,
immediately
what just made
then
that happen.
say 3 more words that finished a sentence that changed the meaning of the sentence.
Exactly. He didn't change the context.
Which is what they actually did to Cory Booker. They showed a clip of him saying, "And you need to get up in your Congress people's face," and they cut it like it was violent, and then the full sentence was something and provide them with some common sense, sane solutions for how to fix your community.
That was the part they cut out. But there's a lot of bullshit in it. That their whole case was, and we showed in the Armageddon Update some of Bruce Castor's opening statement, which was stunning. Ray and I were watching it together, just like, and Ray's got a legal mind, and she's like, "What is he saying?" It just went all over the place. But even at the end of it, when they started putting the video together, like they tried to compare the Floyd riots and all throughout the summer to trying to kill Mike Pence and kill Nancy Pelosi. Pelosi?
What is wrong with you today?
I can't speak today. I can't speak good. What?
Is one side of the face?
You guys both got that thing like I'm about to be racist. Yeah. No, I'm not. I'm not racist, and I'm not going to be racist. Stop it.
I got uncomfortable.
They put together. They use everybody saying word fight. And if you've said the word fight in 10 years, it made the video.
That was really embarrassing.
They had Brad Pitt, the first rule of Fight Club, and they just
and they have Beastie Boys.
Yeah, Beastie Boys. Yeah. Fight. The rest is for your right to party.
For the right to party, right? Exactly.
So, and they made this video that was just so, and it went on for 12 minutes.
Yes.
And just because people use a word, it's all about context. He actually, so I can connect. You can't connect Nancy Pelosi saying, Pelosi.
Oh,
wow, God.
Do you smell almonds?
It's John
yes, Nancy Pelosi. You cannot say Nancy Pelosi saying fight for your rights as American citizens. You cannot compare that to a man who lost an election standing at the podium saying go down the street and fight or you'll lose your country. That connects it. purely. I need to speak like this all the time because it's much clearer.
It gets nice and sharp. And
it's sharp, and I know what I'm saying.
Yes, and I sit up. I want to sit up and be proper.
You sound like intelligent.
Right.
I'm not slouching now.
Are you intelligent? No, but I can do accents.
You have really upped the class level at this table.
Everything's, I do declare.
Yeah. Wow.
Forsooth.
You think about
I need to do this now with my pinky.
Play people that used to talk like that, and then you play your daughter who is like literally, literally like, oh my God. And you hear that word 10 times in you can't say literally.
I will say
like
this.
literally. It doesn't work.
I will say this. My son, at least, he loves English, so he does speak clearly. He's pretty clear. But my daughter has gone off the rails a bit. But she's a kid. It'll come around.
She'll totally
she has gone off the rails. And you know what life is? Life is me.
It's like a new Valley girl.
You hate me because you ain't me. Wow. Yeah, that was a tweet. Yeah, sometimes as a parent you just go, oh boy, did I fuck up. This is evidence of a huge mistake.
Every parent has thought
parent says
You're
that.
not there yet, right? Although
No.
He's so far so good.
12 years old yet.
Yeah, I feel like that's the turning point.
At 12 where you think
wow.
that you have raised an utter moron.
Right.
You're going to be so confused how that sweet, smart seeming kid turned into this idiot.
We had a moment where he came in, and I forget you. It was after your week off, after a vacation, and you were like, "I just told him pick it up." He's
that incident. Yeah, I felt bad about that.
Why?
He was looking for something under his bed, to try to, and he wouldn't move things around. And I'm like, just pick it up and move it. And I, lost my temper.
But here, okay,
but that's as far as I went.
You don't,
and I felt bad about
But you
that.
don't need. We are so. Kindness is always better, but you weren't being unkind. You were just waking him up to the fact that get off your ass and move it.
Yeah.
You just do that.
Yeah.
There you go.
Don't just give up.
And then you find it.
Exactly.
Come find it.
He could see. Just lift it up.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
There
we go.
Oh no! Here it comes.
Here comes the retort.
I need a seatbelt.
Don't yell ever.
Days ago-ish,
Oh,
he said, we don't have any turkey, like lunch meat stuff. And I said, yes, we do. Did you look? And he said, I just looked. And I said, I just bought some and
There's
we
just
already
cheese
had
in
some.
there.
He said it's all cheese. He opens the drawer again, pulls out the turkey in this hand and starts going
right into the cheese.
cheese.
Wow, the turkey's in my hand. Yeah.
And there's 2 bags of turkey still in the drawer with the cheese, and he's holding the turkey.
I remember this. Yeah. It was morning. I had half a cup of coffee, but that happened.
It was the half a cup of
It
coffee.
may never get better because men don't have a uterus. You can't find things.
That's true. We're also different. There's a different level of smart that men have. I'm not even going to call it smart. I'm going to call it.
This is going to be good.
Wait, by the way, she just watched me. He's bringing the backhoe in. Titus about to dig a hole. Everybody, can you bring the backhoe now? Just gather around.
The thing is, I think that women, we are so, that sentence is funny. And I think most women at home just laughed at the same time I did. But do go ahead. Do go on.
Why do you like us then?
Well, that's a long answer, but I would love to hear what different level of smart men have.
Intelligence. Men are intelligent in a different way. We are. You guys are organizers. We are builders, attackers. Full of
Pillagers,
rapers. Right. It's a different level of intelligence.
Kind of building.
That's what I said. I'm not inaccurate.
We find things. We find things.
Find things, burn it down, take it over, steal it, kill the people that were there first. That's what we do.
Yeah.
That's our job. And we're still doing it right now. The GOP's currently doing it right now. They're trying to limit voting rights now because
I like that pivot. You just pivoted.
They can't figure out that if they
I could
just
hear
can't.
alarms going off in your
me
head,
too.
actually.
God, I was like, I do. I'm like, I don't want to be in this forest. This forest is scary. There's violence and there's at every
He
turn.
actually saved you because
did.
you were trying to be serious.
He was a dude.
He helped you go a funny direction. You were like, oh, thank God.
I did.
Let's go with rape.
You see how
That's
fast
funny.
I jumped on it? I jumped. I was like, oh yes, rape. Haha. Now we have jokes.
Awesome.
Here Here's what I don't understand, and I hate, guys. I'm hoping to God this is our last purely political podcast for a minute. I want to start getting back to, well, if the good news is if the vaccine's working and everything's getting better, and the stock market's been another thing. It's so weird to have a president that because the stock market went up 7 days in a row, he didn't say anything about it. Not once. Didn't say a word. Biden didn't say a word about it.
Yeah.
Neither did Trump. Do you think Trump would be tweeting better than ever if he could? Best stock market in
Law
the
and
history of any? Do you think he would? Or
Even
do you
that-
think
that-
he would be pretending that none of these great things are happening?
Yeah, he's probably glad he's off. But I didn't even think about it. Twitter did him a favor. You're right. Because now Twitter did him a favor because what's he going to tweet about? Everyone's going to...
He would find something.
I'm sure he would.
Fake news
But it would just be
stories.
fake news stories. And it doesn't ever line up with the facts. And it never did. Law and Order, as he's getting sued for raping a lady.
Here's the thing that makes me
It's
crazy
the
is
inverse.
that we can all read-ish.
Psycho.
You're actually one of the most intelligent people I've ever known in my life. which
Wow,
is
that
why-
was somebody wants a present.
Which is I got presents last night, which is why I was first drawn to you, because so many guys aren't that I was meeting.
Wow. So I am like, as dumb as I am, I'm at another level. That's pretty awesome.
You're not dumb-ish. I'm just gonna use that word all
Psycho.
day.
Pasaki.
You do,
But you don't read it as that word. It comes.
No.
But you are extremely intelligent and intuitive, and like you're really intuitive with human nature and behavior, and you notice things.
Yeah.
I mean, I could park something in the middle of the living room and you would never see it unless it was a car.
But you know how it feels. He knows how. He comes in here and he will pick something out. Like I move my foot to the right or something, and he's like, "What's wrong? Something's wrong." I'm like, "What?
Yeah.
Wait, how did you do
yeah,
that?"
he knows. He knows.
I don't know how you do it.
Oh, I don't. Did someone ask him for raises? What's going on? What's happening? This is really weird right now to
You
be getting compliments.
read, though. I know. See how uncomfortable he gets with compliments, but you do, especially the longer I've known you, read a lot more. Like when I first met you, you weren't so into politics, and you read sometimes like just regular books or like historical books. But now you seek things out every day. I see you looking up things and reading things, and we can all do that with the internet. And you can vet those sites to make sure that it's not fake misinformation or disinformation.
But isn't that sorry to interrupt you, but isn't that
No, you're not sorry.
But isn't that the most frustrating part of it? And I wrote this, like, the internet was built so we could all get smart. It was supposed to be
it
this
worked opposite.
this renaissance of intelligence that we were supposed to build to a whole other level, that we would all have all the information at our fingertips. And instead, we use it to make up information that already backed up our stupid shit without facts.
Well, perfect example. We just had all the facts and all the evidence just now with this insurrection, and
we saw it.
Justice was still not served at the
Yeah.
highest level.
Or they didn't serve it, but then gave statements that he was guilty. McConnell, and then what's his face?
Not Toomey. Was it Toomey?
No, it was. I'll think of it in a second. Wrote a statement about why he was guilty
And needed to be arrested.
and should be arrested, but they acquitted. I'm like, but my point that I was going to make before you interrupted that time was that when I talk to members of my family who have very strong political standings, very strong, they are like, I know what I think. And then I say, but how do you feel about blank? Like the fact that he conceded that he did steal millions from a children's and wounded veterans charity to do a painting of himself, and then conceded in writing and paid restitution and agreed to never serve on a charitable board again. Like, I think that's a pretty important thing that goes to character, and they're all of them. What? He what? Where did you see that or hear? And that's constant. That's one example, but it's constant where they've never, even person, woman, man, camera, TV, no one of my Republican family knew. And I'm like, come on, that was all over the place. That was gold.
Yeah.
That
was
the
pure
best of
gold.
2020.
There's a video, I watched it and I laughed. I was hysterically laughing because I started filming myself because I couldn't talk. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
It still makes us laugh. Sometimes we'll put it on and just shake. We'll laugh so hard. But I think that if you're going to form an opinion, I think, and be vocal about it, that it's your responsibility as a citizen to look things up so that you can see both sides. And people don't do that. I flip back and forth, as dumb as they are, between Fox and CNN and MSNBC. I always want to see what Fox is saying.
Never on the same page.
They're never talking about the news. They're always like, more kittens have been found in rain gutters in 2020 than any
most of them
other
were found
year.
in Democratic homes. Democrats hate kittens and they will kill kittens.
They eat their faces?
Yeah,
They eat
exactly.
kitten faces. Kitten faces, by the way, with these restaurants in California serving kale and kitten faces.
I leave for North Carolina tomorrow.
Yes.
Morning.
I'm going to be so sad.
I know we both had
My
some
best
real
friend,
moments.
yeah.
And we've been together 15 years and we're both like,
When you say we've been together 15 years, we work together, we go on vacation together, we stay together
yeah.
with each other all the time.
Yeah.
We're not just, don't get tired, sit up, don't fall over.
when you put it that way.
I know you
Quick, go British.
I got a little like, really? And because I think it's that we shouldn't, and I'm happy with it. You're the only person I've ever met in my life that I could be with that much.
We just got back from snowboarding together. We're like,
That was fun.
Happy Valentine's Day, everybody.
Yeah. Well, hey, by the way, we will hope we will see you. I got
normally I could help, but it's just
COVID.
Yeah,
it's not going to work.
Yeah, it's not going to work. We left snowboarding actually because we thought, this is genius, right? It's the only vacation that you could do where everyone would have no problem wearing a mask because it's snowing and you kind of already wear a mask anyway. And if you don't, you would still be fine with it because it's snowing. And we went to the lift lines and people were crowding together and not wearing their mask. And
or under their nose.
Some of the people that worked at the lift that you have to go by every time. So he yelled at a guy to cover his nose and that almost started a fight. He yelled at the guy and then flipped him off and then...
No. I yelled at the guy and then I got on the lift and my board caught under the chair.
Underneath, which is such a rookie mistake.
Yeah. And here's the thing is, I realize... when you're a decent person, karma gets you fast.
Yes.
Karma does not give you a little space. When you're evil, what ends up happening is you're evil for a long time, and then eventually you lose the presidency, and now you're going to get arrested.
That yesterday.
Yeah.
Yes.
I have instant karma. I've lived pretty clean because the second I got mad, I go, dude, man, can you wear your mask? I mean, you work here.
Yeah.
And then I get on the lift, and my board catches on the lift and almost yanks me off the lift. I'm like, ah!
He was like...
I was going down. I actually had to I'd use every strength I had to keep myself on the lift till we cleared the...
What, did they have like a little button as an employee thing?
No,
Get
I
him.
started laughing. And then
He was not looking. He was yelling
Busy,
at him
yeah.
and not paying attention in his board.
I wasn't yelling. I just said, dude, you should raise your mask
And
up.
then to show him after you got your leg
After
back,
I got my leg back, I just
flipped him off.
and he goes, "You're really a nice guy," which is such a weird heckle. Like it was like,
thank you.
It made me feel really like a dick because he made it worse. He just go, "Fuck you too." That would be like, all right. He went, "You're really a nice guy."
In his defense, he apologized to him the next time.
That's the thing about me. So I go back. I go, I don't want to be that guy. So I go apologize to the guy, and I wanted to tell the guy. I was trying to point out to him. I said, "Okay, so you're not wearing your mask. You work here. The rules are you're supposed to wear a mask, right? It says you signed a thing. But not only that, you've got thousands of people every hour, couple hundred people
Coming
every
through.
hour coming past you who percentage-wise, some of them have COVID. And you're not wearing your mask? How dumb are you?"
Yeah.
He didn't.
Yeah.
He did not accept his apology.
No,
just so.
he got real snotty.
So the first 2 days there was no
But
one.
I apologized and fuck him. I win.
There
I
was
apologize.
no.
Yeah.
You did gloat about your goodness all the way up.
I think you did it for you. I think.
But so the first 2 days, no one was there. So that happened. So we were able to stay like 5 empty chairs in front of us and behind us. And so we were able to stay away from all of these idiots. There was a Trump shirt wearing guy with no mask on.
No mask at all.
But there's only a few people on the backside and we're far away. But it was the Sunday.
We got walked on a Sunday. Sunday was bad. Sunday was...
And that's when we
it
left.
was packed, solid lift lines. No people. I would say half the people weren't wearing masks.
They actually had people out that one day finally telling people,
Yelling at people,
pull it up over your nose,
Yeah,
pull
good.
it up. But they didn't at first. And people were still, as soon as they got on the lift or whatever, pulling it down. It was really super
But like you
annoying.
said, of all places to have a great mask,
Yeah.
you're going to be out at a ski resort.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's freezing. And it was actually wet, snowing. But Trump shirt, no mask, nothing. So we left. We went to the mountain that day, all dressed, ready to go. We did 2 runs and got in the
We
car.
both
and
got
went
anxiety
home.
filled. I'm like, I don't want to get this. And here's why. So today I'm watching the news. I get up and I'm writing the Armageddon update. And they're showing that even if you don't get severe symptoms, even if they were showing people's lungs. So even if you don't get severe symptoms and you're not a smoker and you're just a normal person, your lungs, everybody's lungs are showing damage like severe bronchitis for years.
Yeah.
Just mild symptoms.
Speaking of that, a great way to keep your lungs protected and safe is a molecule air filtration system.
Oh, they've saved
Cannot
my life.
recommend this one enough, especially during
With
this
your
whole thing
allergies?
going
No.
on. It's, you need it for your allergies.
Yeah.
Man.
Why did
does
you
it-
whisper that?
I don't know, but I never thought
And it
of
seemed louder.
So it's not HEPA like all other filtration
Yeah.
systems are. It's PICO technology, which is photoelectrochemical oxidation. I don't even know if I'm supposed to say that or not. I'm just fascinated by this because it actually destroys pollutants in the air instead of
It
just
zaps 'em.
sucking them in and holding them in this thing that air blows through and back into your lungs and your face. So we've had ours for 3 years.
It's never turned off.
It's really cool looking. It's super spacey.
Well, what's crazy to me about it is when and I've said it before, when companies build something, you know it's going to break eventually.
Yeah.
This thing's been running since we got it at the other house. Before we bought this house, it's been running constantly for 2.5 years now.
Never ever turn it off. Ever.
She didn't know.
No, and I have an app and I can adjust it, turn it up, turn it down. You can have it do a boost setting to like really power clean the air, especially when you first put it on.
Yeah, Molecule it helped us with the fire when the fires hit. It cleaned like we'd walk. It was like LA smells smoky. We'd walk in the house and where the things in our bedroom.
And
gone.
it senses when it needs to go high and then lower itself. It senses when there's more need in the air. It's pretty crazy.
And your allergies prior to this were
Impossible.
horrific.
Yeah.
It does. I do feel a difference. Like whenever I walk into your house, like I'm just like, oh,
Doesn't
I feel
it?
clearer and lighter.
Okay,
and
can
I can
guys-
see clearer. What
She
is-
lives there. I
Okay,
think.
listen.
Yeah.
Are you kidding? Or
No,
you being-
I'm
okay.
not.
Because
Not
I've noticed
kidding.
that in our bedroom.
So listen, we have talked about this, and we don't know if it's because we're just really
It's
passionate.
It's crisp.
That's the first time we plugged it in. That's what I said. I
Yeah.
said it feels almost charged. I don't know what it is,
Yep.
clean and charged. He came home and I had set it up, and he walked in. I had just put it in the bedroom, and he goes, "Wow, the air is really nice in here." It was weird,
Yeah.
and we thought we were imagining it. Ha ha.
Nope.
Pretty
I can
crazy.
vouch for that. Yeah.
There's
There's
a
a difference.
charge in the air. So we have the Molecule Air. It's designed for larger rooms up to 600 square feet. They have the Air Mini, which is up to 250. Air Mini Plus, which has small rooms. It's got a particle sensor and auto protect mode, which adjusts based on the sensor, like we were talking about. Now they have Molecule Air Pro, which I want, up to 1,000 feet, and then Pro RX, which is the one that I told you got the 510K Class 2 medical device clearance. So they're using that in hospitals. They're using it at the healthy camp that I took mom to.
Right.
Anyway, you're all staying at home a lot more. I certainly have been home a lot. That's why I'm panicking about leaving tomorrow.
On a plane.
Indoor air pollution is no joke.
No,
It's sometimes worse.
Yes, because your paint and carpet
Yep.
gas off.
VOCs
and
from-
yes,
yep.
everything. I learned about that, and it would terrify you if you look it up and learn about it. So
Not just your carpet, the flooring, the
Everything.
flooring,
Yeah.
all
The
the
glue
chemicals.
and the-
cleaning
yeah.
products, glue,
Right.
Everything.
I will say that since we've had it, I think there's been a couple times we've come back from the road when it was off and we had to turn it back on.
Yes.
And I was like, you've noticed a difference.
I don't know what's
It works.
so super weird
All
that
I
you
can
just
say is
said
this:
that.
Molecule works like a muh.
It's crazy that you just said that. I don't feel so crazy now. So highly recommend this. 10% off your first air purifier order. Visit molecule.com. That's MOLEKULE.com. At checkout, enter Titus 10.
Molecule.
10% off your first order. I have backup filters now in the laundry room because I'm like, especially when COVID started, I'm like,
The funny thing to me is that when we do ads on the show, we only do it for stuff that works. And here's how you know it really works. She's ordering like filters for the future. That's how well it works. And then with your hypersensitivity, it's made a huge difference in my happiness. So if someone in your house is a hypochondriac or they have allergies that make you feel psychotic,
you equated hypochondriac to allergies.
right,
That's for somebody who doesn't have allergies.
Because allergies aren't real, and only pussies think they have allergies.
I mean, it does seem like it's the flakiest thing to ever say.
No.
I got a runny nose.
Well, you know what I've been doing
Do you know what
that
I
has
do have an
caused
allergy, by the way.
problems with my allergies lately, why I've been suffering, and he finally pointed it out. We have a molecule in our bedroom. I've been leaving the door open every night, the sliding door, because it's cold. I love the cold air.
Yeah,
and he finally goes, "What are you doing? This makes no sense." It's like that
Trying to duke it out.
Yeah,
why don't you run the heater too? Because with the door open.
Right.
Are you using your allergy medication?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, he is so.
You're not?
No, what is wrong with you people?
Sometimes a lot of people don't like to take medication. I don't like taking medication.
I felt it worked. I took it and I feel better. And I'm if I start to feel it again, I'll get on it.
And he chewed it.
I got a super shot of it.
Men's intelligence is different.
You guys are idiots.
We said that.
We have a different kind of
Texas
is in trouble.
I was just reading an article about that. You told me to look up, and this poor guy, CNN did a news story on. He's been living in his car in an open area outside of his home so he can use his car heater. He's wearing several layers of clothes and blankets, and he's in his car. So.
You can just pipe the exhaust into the house.
No,
heat it that way.
That doesn't work.
I've heard a lot of people try to heat their house.
from that. Yeah.
So when we first went to the cabin 2 times, not this time, at the time before, PG&E, which doesn't have LA, thank God. PG&E is the company that burned everything down and got
their
sued
equipment was
and
from
went
the
bankrupt.
60s and 70s. Yeah.
So now there's a wind and they turn the power off.
And if the wind hits 40,
they turn it off for a week.
Wait, they turn the wind off?
Yes.
How did they? I wish. No, they should. If only.
They turn all the power off for everyone. And it's like, what, Bakersfield all the way
Well, they're
up?
getting sued for billions of dollars for
bankrupt.
burning down California. So now if basically a breeze comes up and butterfly gets a little spazzy, they shut it down. So another.
Who heard of this, right? We'll get texts all the time.
Yeah, we'd rather
Your
have
power is going to be out for the next week. And so we went to the cabin, and there was a blizzard, and the power was out almost the whole week we were there. We've talked about this briefly. The generator that we had broke. And so we had a couple days. Well, actually, we stayed 5 days, 6 days with no power. And
with a generator.
And we survived inside. What did we do?
Killed some people and ate them. But that was because they were, I think
and
they
used their skin like blubber.
I think they were illegal aliens.
We
anyways.
burned it like lamp oil.
No, we had lamps. We have lamps, and we had the refrigerator going, and we had enough.
I cooked dinner in the fireplace.
We had cords all over the place. Like this thing has 3 outlets or 2 outlets, so we have 3 cords going, and then we were like switching stuff. I had to make the TV upstairs work. It was so hard.
It's like a Christmas story outlet.
I
with
will
a million
say that Reverend Bart, our Armageddon teacher, prepper, planner, like you would not believe, heard that on the podcast and was ashamed. Thought, have I taught either of you anything? Like idiots. And then he was like, generator, pull start, what is happening? So we've embarrassed our teacher.
Yes, we have.
But thanks to him, we do have 2 pallets of MREs.
Well, you guys don't have a fireplace, so you could just fire up the fireplace and candles.
By the way, Little House on the Prairie here, she was awesome. She actually made meatballs and potatoes and stuff, and she wrapped them in foil, and then she got the coals going, put them in there, boom, cooked our dinner.
It was excellent.
Dang.
Did that a couple times. Did burritos on the fire.
Cowboy burritos we had. Yeah, you have to add the word cowboy to everything.
The first day before that we had a generator, I went downstairs and I'm going to have coffee, and I'm going to have to mainline it through my nose if I can't figure out how.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I had this whole filtration system. I popped open Keurig cups and boiled water in a pot on the fire, then poured it in the cup, poured the Keurig coffee in there, then got paper towels because we don't have coffee filters, and then strained.
Yeah.
But you have to strain it many times and paper towels with I was determined to have coffee. By then it was cold. Put it back in the pot, put it back in the fire, and we had coffee.
Yeah. Took us 14 hours, but we had coffee. She started the morning, and then the next morning we had coffee. Awesome.
We have already mounted on the walls there these kerosene lanterns, like Little House on the Prairie. I'm doing that because you turn the wick out and light it, and we have lamp oil in them. And it was really kind of an interesting, I know we were far beyond Little House on the Prairie times, but there were some moments where I thought, holy crap, like we had to plan our day around nightfall,
and then we were running
running
out of wood.
Everything changes
because the natives were going to attack.
you never knew when the marauders were going to show up and notice that the lamps were out. Yeah. You know, every one of those Clint Eastwood movies, marauders showed up and some problem happened. We ran out of wood. We actually used all and usually the firewood because there's power
that
up there.
That was before we got the
Nobody caught the consumption.
No,
scurvy.
No. He got the consumption.
That was before we got the Johnsons. Cut their borders.
But we made it through. It really wasn't that. I mean, we had a generator.
Well, it's in the teens in Texas, I guess, is what made me think of that.
That's crazy. And people keep
it was 1 at one of those days at the cabin.
Yeah, true.
And what I'm trying to say is,
and it was
we're
snowing
just
like
better.
It was snowing like crazy.
It was snowing like crazy.
Texas, though, so people keep talking about how, it's global warming. It's not global warming. It's called climate change. And they're saying because it's getting warmer on the poles now, all this cold air, which we used to stay higher, is now dropping down because it's not being pulled there anymore, however the jet stream works. And that's why, if you look at did you see the picture of the center of the country? All the way to it's crazy.
They're going to start blaming it on Biden for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever happens.
Oh, yeah. Biden gets elected.
See?
Look what happens. Look what happens.
First, we have to talk about to get there, they're going to have to get past the word warming and feeling gloaty about it whenever we have a random ice or snow
because it's cold out. How can it be global warming?
And by them, I mean...
Is that a jacket? Is that a jacket? Yeah, libtard.
Global warming my ass.
That's a jacket.
It's going to get colder.
That's what Donald Trump said. He still thinks...
Because of weather, like the change in the season.
Again, I say to you must read. You must read. It's very important.
If we could just... And also, when someone will argue with me on Twitter or something, and if I don't know it, I don't just spew an opinion. I go look it up. You know how long it takes to go click, clack, clack, and look up what they said?
Yep.
About 4 seconds.
Yep.
Then I read it, and then I go, okay, that was right or that was wrong. I want to point out that the administration, so we had a lot of scumbags in the last administration who continued to have their jobs, and when they did finally get fired, they got pardoned after they got convicted. Mm-hmm. Biden had a guy named Ducklow, who was a media representative, who was dating a reporter. Another reporter wanted to find out why this guy was dating a reporter. I guess it was shady that she was going to get extra access to the president and inside stories because they were sleeping together. Ducklow guy called, and again, this is what I've learned. People, I want you to tell you something about talented, famous, and powerful people. People that are really talented and really smart and really powerful, that have earned it, are usually the nicest people in the world. I think Biden's a good example. I think Obama's a good example. It's usually the people around them that are that are barnacling off that power that are the assholes. Mm-hmm. They're using that guy's power, who's a decent guy, to be dick. So this Ducklow guy told the reporter, "You're just mad I'm fucking her instead of you." And then he said, "I will end you. I will ruin you." So, but this is like 2 weeks into the Biden administration.
We're just gonna,
bro, do you know who your boss is, bro? Really? Wow.
And he had just made that declaration. Remember?
Yeah.
We're just gonna gloss over the fact that his last name is Ducklow. And he
by the way, I get why he's mad.
Like red dots on his head.
So they held it. This had happened. It got reported 2 weeks late. They held it for 2 weeks because it was a personal. They said it was a personal matter, like every political group trying to cover their own ass. And then Biden, the guy had stage 4 lung cancer. Got diagnosed 10 months ago. He's been having treatments.
The Ducklow guy.
Ducklow guy, yeah. So they said they're going to take him off for a week, and he's not going to get paid for a week, and he can't talk to that reporter anymore. They disciplined him. But Biden had said, if you talk shit, Biden, Joe Biden, I like the Joe Biden. And Jill Biden is great too. But they had said that if you talk shit to anybody, you're gone. And so he resigned. The dude resigned.
Speaking of Jill Biden, did you see the hearts on the White House lawn?
Giant hearts.
Giant wooden hearts.
These are literal hearts, not figurative hearts?
Yes, for Valentine's Day. She might have decorated her neighborhood.
It didn't look like a building from Chernobyl, like just cleared out.
No, they're red and pink, and it's like love, amour, like all these.
Yeah,
and then
honesty, true. Yeah.
There's a picture of her I saw later. So I was like, oh, that's so sweet. She had people, she's in a little green apron painting them, and she signs Love Jill. They're massive.
They're massive. Huh. And she put them online. She goes, why? She says, I thought people needed to feel good.
And then, wait, hold on.
What do you mean?
Hold on. Then there's a video of Joe and Dr. Jill President Joe walking by these hearts, and they're walking around the White House campus kind of. One thing that I noticed is that there are these green kind of awning cubbyhole tents that they have put there for reporters to keep them warm, because, they hang out outside the White House trying to catch whatever's going on. They have their own
coffee.
Little, Joe Biden is in a leather jacket, like a bomber jacket, jeans, and they're walking, holding hands. I know this might be too much. I'm already like, but yes, they were holding hands. Yes, they were walking their dogs, one who is 14.
Yep.
And
Champ and Major.
And it's just going to get better. The reporter says, tomorrow I'll bring the coffee. I didn't know we were doing whatever. And he takes his coffee and gives it to the reporter and says, here you go. I promise you I haven't.
He goes, I haven't drank this yet. He goes, I can get another one here. Just take it. Biden just gave the reporter.
And he keeps going, I promise. I didn't touch it. It's like, I just can't. I can't. It's too much niceness.
But we swung so far. We went from this guy from Obama who loved his kids and his wife is a badass, and they're like, she's trying to get kids healthy meals, and then dickhead comes in and they shut down the garden and they build a tennis pavilion that they didn't get to use.
They didn't even use it?
No, she shredded the rose garden.
Who did you think was going to use it?
Yeah, exactly.
But
she shredded. But
they
ripped up Obama's garden,
yes.
a fresh vegetable garden, to build a tennis pavilion. It's like, if there can't be a more stark contrast, I don't know what is.
I'm waiting to see if that tennis pavilion gets
Champ and Major's new house, maybe.
Oopsied.
Yeah. And then the rose garden. She shredded Jackie Kennedy's rose garden.
Oh my god!
Just ripped every. It's not. There's no roses in it.
There was a hint on the Oval Poffus, the dog's account, that it was a very aside thrown at the end of the tweet, right before we begin renovations on bringing Jackie Onassis rose garden back.
We're digging in. Yeah.
It was something
digging
where
in the
you
yard for rabbits before we get to do it until they bring the rose garden back.
Yeah. So I'm wondering what's going to happen with that tennis pavilion, because would we as a country, especially given a little bit of time, as you guys say, it's going to become more apparent with time, would we want him and his name on anything? No, it's like, it's the same thing as
Trump?
rid of the Confederate statues.
His name needs to fucking come down from every fucking place ever.
Shit.
Yeah, fuck knows the right answer. Yeah, he's right. No, he's dead right.
That guy has wrecked the fucking globe.
Right.
He is affected globally. It's not just, I had a little bit of hope, like a glimmer of hope that justice was going to be served. Well, this is it. Finally, one of these fucking super capitalist cutthroat pieces of shit is gonna pay for what they did. And then nope. And I'm back to being a little bit disillusioned.
Again, back to Billy. House always wins.
I don't think it's over yet. And I think now, one thing that's interesting is that they have now filed a civil case against him for it, and in conjunction with the NAACP, and they're citing a law from like 1877 that was actually known as the KKK Act of 1872 or whatever the year is. I'll have to look it up. That was not its official name. That's what it was known as, because they were having issues with white supremacist groups like the KKK interfering with the ability of legislators to do their job.
So we have to revive a KKK law
for him
from this guy.
Yes. How interesting is that?
I heard that on the news. They're saying they need lawyers to go. You guys need to go into the history books because they're going to backslap your ass with the law because the KKK was intimidating lawmakers, and they're going to use that law because Trump was intimidating lawmakers. Exactly.
1870 and 1871.
Wow.
It was the Enforcement Act, but it was known as the KKK Act.
You know what's funny is that like the Civil War was over just barely at that point.
This was under Grant.
But it's just, and they were like already the white supremacists were already roaring back hard like that. That's crazy. The
KKK,
swing.
What do you mean roaring back? They're still roaring.
But isn't it insane to me that it never works? If you guys knew anything about history, you would understand that racism, you have to kill a lot of people to make it work. And then in history, you end up being the worst people ever. Hitler will always be famous for being the worst human being on the planet. It never works out. Germany has this disdain forever, no matter how good they try. They still going to be, oh yeah, Nazi Germany. Remember that? Trump, he did nothing, you know? And again,
that's what I mean. Would you want, there has to be, even if they never announce it, even if it's not a full demolition, just changing the building, pulling that plaque off of it. It's now a reading center or
pool tables.
learning.
They put pool tables in it for they let reporters hang out in there when it's cold. Whatever it is, if you're going to use it for something, I just think it needs to be. I don't know.
What the hell are they going to put in his presidential library?
Fucking a bathroom.
It is a bathroom. It's basically just a bathroom with paperbacks, but they're all pop-up books. They're not even good pop-up books.
Mad Libs.
Mad Libs and tweets.
What were those books where you could choose the direction
words he made up?
of the book?
Oh yeah, it's like
those?
turn the page. You could choose the different direction.
Did you, when you read those? I was such an avid reader when I was growing up. I couldn't deal with only knowing what happened when I went the way I chose. I would then go back
and do all the multiples, and there's like a million different scenarios.
Yeah. I would fall down that rabbit hole.
Yeah, no. But Covfefe, he's got words, bleach, injecting bleach. It will be
a book of his tweets. That would be it.
Compared to everybody else's presidential library, it'll be like as if Mad Magazine wrote it. It'll just be this weird, like this goofy ass of shit he said. Like you got to remember all the dumb shit he said every day. He said dumb shit every day.
It'll just be one dude in there that you can pay to read for you or pass a test for you. It's just a dude in the room all day. There's no books or anything. You just pay him.
For what? What does he say? He's
like a mob guy? Is he just one mob guy in there?
To take tests for you or to read books for you. He's not, gonna.
They're so library. Hey, you don't have to read nothing here. Listen, all you do, here's it. You just sit there. You give me $50. Boom.
I'll tell you what you need. Okay?
It's like Cliff Notes. His name is Cliff, actually. The guy that hangs out in there.
The problem is that he's raised so much money. There's still I don't understand why these people still think. He had a rally, not a rally. People waiting for him yesterday.
Another rally?
No. He drove out. He drove out of Mar-a-Lago. There was crowds of people lining the street, screaming, "We know you won! We know you won!" We found out later. Shannon Hannity was saying these people still showed up. We found out that they were paid to be there. They have organized it. But how do you, at this point? It's what I used to say about Obama's birth certificate. You think they may have vetted that. They probably made sure he was a citizen, I'm guessing. Or if he was a criminal, he turned the country around. I'm okay if he's from somewhere else at this point.
That's crazy.
What's wrong with that at this point?
Now that we have hindsight, don't any of you want to come out and say you're sorry? No. They just want to keep it moving. Not going to discuss. He was the Antichrist. He was supposed to usher us into Armageddon, and we
take all your guns away.
He was gonna, and Newtown happened during that, and they still kept their guns.
Yeah.
Like
we should require outsiders to run this country from now, based on what just happened.
If he really was Kenyan, we need to recruit some Kenyans.
Exactly.
Here's the thing that freaked me out. I told him is that he's going to start holding rallies again, real rallies, and it's a free speech thing, right? And
it's like a concert,
Yep.
at those rallies, he's going to continue this disinformation campaign. He's going to continue to say Biden's an illegitimate president. How do you, as Biden, as president, handle, it's basically him setting up and running a shadow government saying, I'm really still the president. People aren't going to listen to law enforcement or to anyone associated with Biden's administration. And
well, they're tracking law enforcement too. There's the white the white supremacists have really infiltrated law enforcement.
But what do you do if he starts holding these rallies all over the country?
I think the media's, as we saw, the media made him, and the media got his message out. The media's got to be serious and just go, fuck this guy. We're not going to cover
what
shit he
about
does.
Fox and Newsmax?
Eventually,
and
yeah, but that's preaching to the choir. I don't think that the audience won't grow. And again, I've been touring the country for 30 years. Trust me, these people, they were conned by a charlatan. And eventually what will happen is if Biden just keeps doing his job, you got to remember how much experience Biden has, what he's been through, the shit he's seen. Clinton, everything. He's seen it done well, and he's seen it done like shit. He's seen what happens when you lie, and he sees what happens when you don't. Biden knows every aspect. Do you think McConnell knows how to twist the fucking thing? Biden knows everything how to do it.
But I'm not afraid of them growing. No. You're addressing something I'm not saying.
Well, I'm saying that I think they're going to fall apart. I think it's just going to become a smaller and smaller
I'm saying that creates
group.
A split.
But it's already there, though. I mean, I think the split's going to get narrower. There's still going to be a bunch of people that are like, get Trump! But they're dumb. They're just, and there's a lot of people that are going to be like, once the economy turns and once COVID gets cured, people are going to be like, I just want to get back to my life.
Rob Portman, that's who it was that came out after his vote. It just popped into my head. Who said today, so all these Republican senators that voted to convict are now being censured by their parties back home, except for Mitt Romney. But the Burr from North Carolina, one of the North Carolina senators, very proud, voted to convict someone I was not expecting. And they had a guy on the news saying, we didn't send him to Washington to vote his conscience. We don't send him there to do the right thing.
Or whatever.
Wow.
Or whatever.
Wow. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You actually, that's why you elected them, to do the right thing. You actually sent them because we're dumb and we need some leaders.
Yeah,
and he
that's what this is. What's why we're doing this government thing.
This is happening all over the country. They're censoring anybody who voted against Trump or voted to impeach him in the trial is getting censured. Any Republican.
But what does that even really mean? I mean, like what? Shh. Yeah. Cindy McCain got censored. Okay. I'll admit it's annoying.
I'll admit it's annoying.
I don't want that actually. So all right, I'm on their boat.
I tweeted out. I think it's if you got censured by the GOP for doing the right thing, it should be a badge of honor. Mm-hmm. At this point, it's a badge of honor. Yep, I did the right thing. Sorry. Yep. Basically, what happened? They got censured. What'd they do? They voted for the criminal that he was a criminal. Really? That's out of line.
They have got to take him out. You know, I was listening on the news on the way here, and they were saying, you know, so many groups and people and organizations were not taken out criminally. They were taken out truly after by being bankrupt in civil court. If you can't catch them criminally, take them civilly. Right. And they're suing Giuliani as well as Trump.
Are you talking about the election people?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's bad.
So that's the only way that we're going to hold him down.
Take his money?
Well, also his $400 million note is going to be knocking this year, 2021, half $220 million of it this year, and he personally guaranteed it.
So what? Okay, so supposedly all the Russian oligarchs financed him through Deutsche Bank. That's where he got his money. That's why he owes all that money. That's why you can't track who he owes money to. Now that he has no power, are they going to bet that he's going to get reelected in 4 years and continue to loan him money to get out of this stuff?
No, they've already announced. Deutsche Bank already said they've severed all ties with him. A bunch of his banks, but Deutsche Bank was the only one really that would still loan him money. No one else would, because he's defaulted on everything his whole life. It's what he does. Yep. And Deutsche Bank announced that they had completely severed ties with him, that they were done. So he's not going to be able to get new loans to pay off loans. So I'm really wondering.
I want you to know, as a voter and as a consumer, I'm not going to be using any company that continues to pay for these guys, these Republicans who are
into the
obviously-
GOP.
I'm not going to. If you're a company that gives them money, for their campaigns, I won't be. Same with if there was criminal Democrats, I'd be like, I'm not going to use your shit if you're just going to keep these assholes in power.
I think Home Depot is one of those companies.
Fuck.
And I'm like, oh shit,
Lowe's.
we got to go to Harbor Freight.
Got to go. Shit.
Wait,
Harbor Freight is.
Home Depot does what?
Donates.
They donate
to the Republican campaigns, and a lot of these guys that voted for, that basically are part of the problem.
Are they one of the ones that because a lot of people have announced that anyone that voted to acquit was they were not getting any. That's why McConnell made that statement after he was like, I'm going to condemn it now, even though I voted to acquit. Let's see, Home Depot donate. I'm going to see. He loves Home Depot.
I know, that's
very
what
hard on him.
I'm liking Lowe's better, but I have to say Home Depot. You can get stuff at Home Depot you can't get at Lowe's, and vice versa. Or is it vice versa or vice versa? It's vice versa.
Vice versa, I think.
Not vice.
Is it? While you're looking that up, that up.
Yeah.
We could go to, where else could we go?
Men have different intelligence than women. Different kind of smart.
Whatever happened to like Channel? Remember Channel? The store Channel, or Heckinger's, or Rickles?
Wow,
maybe these were East Coast, like Home Depot precursors.
Were they big?
Yeah, they were. Yeah, it was like a big chain.
I was on East Coast, but I was in a small town.
I think we've always had Home Depot since I was a kid.
Maybe it was just Sears. It used to be Sears.
Sears.
Where would you get your lumber? Oh, like a local place.
Oh, I didn't need lumber.
We build things. You're welcome.
We have a different kind of intelligence. Different kind of smart.
I've noticed, trust me.
We hold things together with gum.
Tell everybody what he did today.
I cleaned it up. I threw my gum away before this. All right. So to you people that have written in that I can't believe he puts gum under the table, I didn't do it today. That's one. I do understand.
That is progress.
There's a past problem, and I got up before we started the podcast, and I threw my gum away. So
but you didn't do your homework yet.
I did. So I've not done my homework yet.
I can't find it.
Well, I know that they advertised.
There was a whole list of companies that came out and said we're not donating. We're putting a hold on donating at least for the next year, and it was Google. There were some big.
But here's
okay. Here are the companies that will stop donating to Republicans who voted against certifying the It was the certification of the election. Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Wow.
I remember Marriott.
That's a lot of money.
Marriott, Commerce, Bank Shares, Boston Scientific.
It's all medical stuff. That's big money too.
Medical device company, yes. Then there's other companies that condemned but didn't promise to suspend donations. Ford, AT&T.
They censored them.
There's a whole list. Now here's more companies that didn't immediately promise to suspend. So basically everyone kind of backed up.
So what we need, part of the reason that these people voted the way they voted has to do with money. Citizens United ruined the country. It really did. Once you told people, once they said corporations are people, which is the dumbest shit I've ever heard, that they made it so if you have enough money, you can buy any senator or senators that you want.
Okay.
So now they can And now what these senators did was give these companies enough power that if they don't do what they want, they can pull all the money away from them. What we need to do is, I think our government needs to have, if you're going to run for office, here is your budget. The government gives you $10 million to run your campaign. Based on that, every television station that is on the list of television stations has to give each candidate that much time for ads. And all that would do was take the money out of politics, and people have been saying this, and it'll never happen.
No.
And all it's going to happen, and I'll hopefully be dead before it happens. But Jesus, it just means that the country's just going to just keep descending into this bullshit nightmare until eventually it's Road Warrior.
And this has been your positivity statement.
I'm just saying.
This is what I wake up to. So Vox.com did.
This is what I wake up to.
Vox.com did a list after the riot. But if you read it, like there are some major companies on here, including Amazon. So Amazon said they were fully suspending PAC contributions from those who voted against certification. That's a pretty bold statement. 3M said it's pausing federal and state political expenditures for the first quarter of the year. So there's some wishy-washy.
Right. Well, 3M, I can buy tape, so that's good tape. They
American
make good tape.
Airlines 3-month pause. American Express, an internal memo, said that they will no longer support anyone who objected to the results of the election. AT&T, which has made the largest contributions to Republicans, is suspending all contributions. AT&T, that figures, doesn't it? Bank of America, BlackRock. I mean, if you want to put the link when you post the podcast, people should be able to look at this Charles Schwab.
Because they said they're suspending too. Good. I will actually go out of my way. Listen.
Deutsche Bank.
Companies have to do the right thing. I don't want your product if you're a douchebag. I'm not going to buy your shit if you're a douchebag.
ExxonMobil. No wonder Mitch McConnell was so. They are this.
Wait, an oil company's like, bro, you know when an oil company goes, yo, too far.
Now that's corrupt.
Yeah. No, they'll commit genocide and ruin the continent. They're like, whoa. You guys have really pushed the limit on this one. That's insane.
There's some big Dow Chemical.
We killed the reef, but
yeah, Dow Chemical. Wait, we've killed a couple million people, but this is too far.
Deutsche Bank said that he currently owes them over $300 million. They stated they will no longer do business with him going forward. Was that their number? 300 million? Yeah. Yeah, you know what? Now that you haven't paid back the 300 million, we're done. It was the riot. Oh. It will also refrain from doing business with those who voted against the certification.
Marlboro was like, this guy's dangerous.
Yeah, let's see.
Yeah, Smith & Wesson. This guy's horrible. The shit this guy's pulled off.
Hallmark is requesting refunds from Josh Hawley and Roger Marshall to return their contributions.
How do you refund them? What is like PayPal?
We want our money back.
We've kept our receipts. Hallmark would keep their receipts. They definitely would.
Grandma has. They have an accordion file. Even though you don't have to have them anymore.
Flip, Josh Hawley.
Grandma, God bless her. A bunch of a Marriott, MasterCard. I mean, these are big. Morgan Stanley, Nike. I mean, big bunch of banks. Stripe, Verizon, Visa. So
let's see.
All of them previously donated to the Nazi, war machine, but now they're pulling out.
Yeah, now they're
the GOP.
Yeah.
That's where we draw the line.
We didn't know they were that Nazi. We knew they were Nazi-ish. We didn't know they were this Nazi.
Yeah.
It's a lot of Nazi.
Yeah.
We're going to have to pull her. It's crazy.
What do you want? Do you want more?
Oh, I thought you were looking for the next thing, the next ad.
Oh.
I was waiting for you to. I was trying to get you to slide into an ad.
But you have a different. No, that was it.
We only had one today.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Thank God.
But you have a different level of intelligence.
Smart. I have a different level of smart. That's how you say it. Thank you. Back up from Hylinder.
Do you guys want to hear what happened to me yesterday? Speaking of instant karma.
This is awesome. I laughed so hard I almost crashed my car. Actually.
So
she was telling me.
In the laundry room, he always has like a little boy. It's sort of like Little Rascals, what I find in his pockets. He has nuts and bolts and screws. Sometimes no shit, a car, like a little
Hot Wheels car.
Hot Wheels car.
If I find it.
And change. And so I keep this Ziploc bag on in the cabinet, and I just put his change in there. And then when the bag gets really full, I take it to a Coinstar machine and get they won't take any percentage off if you get a gift card. So I get Apple gift cards so that I can download books. So I have this system, right? And it's very sort of like, World War II. I'm, washing out
exchanging your metal.
But what else do you do with it? And I think it's brilliant, and I get to pay for all these books that I download. And so yesterday I was driving to the store, and it's in they're in the front of the grocery stores, and I had this thought, like, is this embarrassing that I'm going into a grocery store and dumping all this change
Looking
into
the way
a
I
machine.
look like a model.
I did not say
and
that.
I'm walking up to this change.
I just thought I had this moment, how we all have like this voice in it, like, should I? And I instantly thought, no, that's completely stupid. Like, I'm just trading out change. But I had that thought. I go into the
If you were trying to
store.
just put Hot Wheels cars in it.
Yeah, exactly.
Then
and bolts
you would be
and
like,
screws and everything that was in his pocket. So I'm walking into the store, and you have that voice running in your head all the time, and you don't necessarily hear what it's saying. It just runs. Like it's commenting on everything and everyone, and it's not always the nicest, I realized yesterday, because this voice is running in my head. I don't realize it until this thing happens. And this guy gets in front of me and he's kind of walking slow, but he's kind of like super dorky and he's very Dennis. And he's heavy but he's walking like this, like he's very cocky.
Got some swagger.
Like Dennis would be.
Yeah, but
The thing about Dennis
Big
that
ego.
makes
First of all, I was walking the way I walk.
Okay.
Dr. Sexy is smooth.
the thing about Dennis that makes you crazy is that Dennis doesn't know that he's a dork.
Right.
And you want him to
Dennis
know.
is not a dork. Dennis is actually I got the moves. Yeah, I got the moves.
Okay.
I'm the definition of sexy.
Yeah.
Dr.
So
Sexy.
I'm
that's my name.
behind
Excuse me.
Dennis, and I actually
Excuse me.
kind of have this eye rolly in my head, like, oh, geez, like this guy, right?
Yeah.
For no freaking reason. He's just,
You're just being a dick.
I'm being a dick, and I
Yeah.
don't realize it. I'm
Being
just
judgy.
going, yes, like what a shitty person.
But
And
she didn't get it till
I didn't get it
till
'cause
after what
I
happened.
didn't have any reason to check into what that voice was saying.
She
It
was
just
totally
being
fine
super
with being
shitty.
a dick
Yeah.
up until
Aha.
He worked there at Vaughn's, and I go up to the machine and I go to pull out, it's 2 quart-size baggies, and it breaks.
Can I anticipate what happens? Did he help you with the
Well,
machine?
how did you?
So the bag breaks, and I mean, I'm at the
85
front
bucks
of
for
the
the change.
store,
Goes
and it goes shing, and it goes everywhere.
And he's like, "Oh, ma'am,
And
let me help you with
everyone
that."
turns to look at me because I'm at the front of the store.
So your nightmare that you actually thought of before you went in happened.
Has now happened. And I think,
So awesome.
This is
and he
talk
said
about
instant
karma.
He said you live clean, so it hits you right away. So I think I must have frozen. I remember like looking at the floor, and it was so much, and I think I was thinking I'll just leave, right? And then
She's
but
gonna
it's-
bolt from the store.
but it's
White people
in the
problems.
walkway.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a very narrow.
I'm mildly
walkway.
embarrassed. I have to go.
And plus, I don't want to get on the floor. And out of nowhere, he appears, gets on his hands and knees, and starts picking up the change and says, as Dennis would say,
First of all, you should get a 3mm baggie to put the change in. Don't ever use one of those shopping bags here. They're horrible. So
thin.
put your change in something, a Ziploc bag, and then it won't happen like
But
this.
what
But
he
I
actually
would definitely help you.
What he actually said was, I'm not supposed to do
Not
this.
supposed to do this.
But
But
I just clocked
I just
in
clocked out,
from
so I
my
have a
break.
couple of minutes. And you're very pretty.
No,
Talk
he
to
didn't.
me. Just talk to me.
He was just picking it. He didn't use his hands to pick it up. It was just,
Dink, dink.
No. But he
know
was
what he
on
meant.
his knees on this dirty floor picking up all this change for me. No one else came over to help. And I had this whole like wrestling with myself moment when I was driving home. Like had that not happened, I never would have even checked into what my brain was. I was just a shitty person, and I was dealt with yesterday with karma. So I am promising to be present and aware and not be that person anymore.
You said something we were talking about it after when I stopped laughing, because the second she said the bag book, I just lost it because I know that feeling, you know, because she really was on stage with no control all of a sudden, because the entire store, all the registers right there, they just looked at her oh, pretty girl's an idiot. Which is awesome. You said something that, and I felt it when we were up at I got so pissed. I was so mad all day at the ski thing because everybody was not wearing their mask. And then there was these bros that were like, fucking bro, dude, I did this fucking backflip. And they were all yelling. And I was like, and I was getting like that, where I was like, this guy's a dick, that guy's a dick, fuck that guy. And I was living like that. And when you said yesterday, I think it's better to live kind, and I'm going to do what I can to do that. You said basically that yesterday. I really took that on. I'm going to start to think, instead of going, fuck this guy, because surface level, there's this thing you notice in people where you're like, look at the fucking guy, look, he's wearing and this and that, or he's yelling. And you need to think, I'm going to, because of what you said yesterday, and this happened to you, and I don't want to be embarrassing and dropping change, I'm going to start thinking beyond that and think, okay, what's going on with this guy? You know, why is this happening? You know, I thought about those kids at the ski resort that were really really being annoying at the line, to where you said, let's move over a couple lines. They were just bros. They were young kids, bros, trying to just do what young men do when they're just out in public.
You know, because boys are so much more intelligent. They have more.
They have a different kind of smart.
They were screaming and stomping their boards.
Yeah, stomping it was a bunch of.
Yes.
it was just a lot of peacocking.
They were just. It was like I was like.
Yeah.
It was a bunch of. They were throwing feces at each other. I was like, "What's going on, you monkeys?" Anyway, so I've decided to be kinder because of you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I've decided to be kinder because of me too. I typically try to be kind to people. That's why I was so surprised when I realized what I had thought like that.
Yeah.
That was my first thought about some complete stranger.
And what a weird thing to be said on that. To have that be your normal setting. I
That's
get
not
it.
okay. That's
Right.
what I thought. I
Right.
don't want that to be my normal setting.
Right.
Spilling a bag of pennies will instantly humble you.
Yeah.
Because what does my life come to?
Yeah, exactly. Oh my God. And they're all over. And I can't just leave them.
I got to get that one and that one.
I'm going to have to reach under stuff.
Yeah. Oh, it was gross. And it took a long time. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so then I left with a Apple certificate for $82.13, and then the other $11 I found in pennies in my purse.
Here's what's sadder: really knowing how to scoop them up. That's the sadder
Trying to get
point.
a penny off a tile floor.
Use paper.
Paper, yeah. That's what
Just scoop it.
You know, I
And
thought
didn't
like
have time to find tools. I was Dennis and I were hustling.
she was licking her hand and picking them up, sticking them in a bay. That's how bad it was.
Anyway, I was
Was he wearing a
dealt with
mask?
Yesterday.
Complete
Yes,
mask. Great.
He was, and he had his pants pulled all the way up to here with his little bellies.
And a
Very
heart
cute.
of gold.
He
Obviously.
did. You know what was great about him is that he was Dennis because he wasn't overtly kind about it. There was still a little bit of judginess that I got.
yeah.
You know, by the way,
Which made him,
since everybody else seems you to be kind of, well, I guess I would say ignorant that you did this, I will help you and to get it done because honestly, you're ruining my store.
That's kind of
Exactly. He's gonna.
kind of-
I've been telling management to move this unit over to here because
This unit is not.
it's in the way.
Because what happens is some idiot's going to come in and spill a bunch of change and it's going to ruin our
gonna
commerce
block
for
the
a couple
flow,
of hours.
the traffic flow.
Exactly. We get it. See, we get it?
There was a little of that. And then when I kept saying thank you because I was feeling it, there was no time. He had to go and finish his duties and his break, and then and so he was Dennis, but I am going to be kinder to Dennis in my brain from now on.
I'm going to be kinder to everybody. I think it's time to watch people are starting to happen, I think, because of Biden. I think it's starting to happen where there's a little bit more niceness.
Yeah. Well, now we know leaders can affect the tone that they have.
I keep saying this.
I know.
I'm still stunned. I never got it. I always thought people would think for themselves, and it's not true. They don't. They're affected by whoever's in charge.
It wasn't just, yes, it's top down. Leadership works that way. But I think also on the other side, it was us being so upset that it was being allowed to happen. So you had people that loved him that were like, he just gave us free reign to talk to people however we want.
Right.
And then you had us who couldn't sleep and were so stressed out and so disillusioned that this could be allowed to go on. So then we were
countered
mad.
the flame.
Yeah. So it was just a lot. It does feel a little bit calmer.
How do we go back to a society that works, though? That's because I mean, you said he's going to do rallies. You've got what, a third of Congress of the Senate that's just like they don't give a shit.
At some point, Biden, his actions are going to have to speak for
Yes.
I think
for
that's
over time. Hopefully, that he's just going to do things, and
Where
that
you can't deny
you
it.
can't argue
and
it.
not brag about it. Not be.
Yep.
That's what I'm going to talk about. I'll be like, listen, guys, he just saved Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Someone said, yeah, because Texas needed something one time, and I'm like, fucker, they flooded Houston 4 years ago. FEMA tornadoes, hurricanes yearly. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
You know,
Trump did some basketball shooting with paper towels.
Yeah, he free throwed some paper towels to some Puerto
That's what I
Ricans.
was going to say earlier. Those statements, like Mitch McConnell making that statement and flat out saying that he is responsible,
And
Rob
liable,
Portman saying that, those can now be used
In court.
in the cases against him. I think even criminally, I think there would be a way to get that in. hearsay, but
it's
still.
so disingenuous again for Mitch McConnell to just be saving his own ass.
He wants Exxon to give him money.
That's all he did was save his own ass. He had to have it both ways. He actually kept the Trump people by voting to acquit, and then he actually went. I don't think I probably lost him after what he said, but he's such a piece of shit, man. There's no upside to Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell is just a craven politician manipulating the system. Every rule that he uses,
blatantly.
It's not good to help people. You know, they give billionaires tax cuts and corporations tax cuts, and then the second Biden's like, "Listen, we're fucked. This thing's gone on for a year. We need to get people some money so they're not in food lines."
Right.
And they're like, "Hold on, I believe the deficit might be a problem." Now the deficit's a problem, motherfucker.
Not when they need a tax break.
Right, but that's I can't wait till he's gone. I just hope that we don't have a worse guy. I hope this hasn't set in motion a bunch of craven politicians that we're going to have to deal with until we finally end up road warrior.
Well, I guarantee you that Boebert and Taylor Greene are not going to run unopposed this time. Now we see, that's a problem if you just let someone run unopposed. We need someone else to run against crazy people.
Right.
Anyway.
Do you think good people will step up, or do you think because of this is going to make crazier people step up?
I know that good people stepped up for the election that
no shit.
Never cared about voting before. Suddenly people were willing to do whatever it took. And I think I've even had thoughts like, well, I could run for a local office. And then I thought, no, they could use all these clips from the Titus Podcast against me. But
I even looked up our representative, Brad Sherman.
So if I've had that thought, you know, like, okay, I could do something. A lot of people are having
the
that
difference
thought.
about me running though is I have enough Trump in me to be like, yeah, I said it.
Oh, right.
And people seem to like that.
Right.
There is power in that. I would be like, oh my God, I'm sorry. I did say it. I don't know what I was thinking. I'm sorry.
No.
So I don't know if I would be great.
I think you're right. We needed an exam. I don't think we needed it. But so many, remember when MTV ran those things, you got to vote, rock the vote. And everyone spent all this money to get people to vote. And we were like, yeah, whatever. I got a new phone. And I think having this psychopath who tried to overthrow the government, people never forget this. This man tried to get Mike Pence and Nancy Pelosi on top of other Democratic leaders fucking killed to take over the government. That was what he set in motion, and it didn't happen. But we needed to see this psychopath become president because the people that stood up and waited in line for 11 and 12 hours to vote saved the country. Fucking saved the country. 7 million more votes.
Hopefully we'll have a lot more Black, brown, and indigenous people run too, because those are the people that really stepped up. I mean, we could use a little more diversity. There's one during that Senate trial, there was one Black woman in that room.
At all levels. Yeah.
But also, we also need our government to step up and start making things right with those people. You know, with those
we can't even start this conversation. You know, I got to pack, and if we start that conversation, we'll be here till tomorrow.
Next Armageddon update, we will talk about. Guys, thank you for listening and watching the Titus Podcast. Do me a favor, go to ChristopherTitus.com if you want to get any DVDs or anything. I sign them for you, and also we have all kinds of stuff on our YouTube channel, Christopher Titus TV. Hylinder's been just kicking ass with the editing and stuff. There's some funny
had someone ask where they could get that.
Someone's like, is that Hylinder on the thing behind you? Someone
the Bob Ross.
The Bob Ross behind me. Is that the Hylinder? It is. Yeah.
Can that camera see it? It was turned more last time.
But by the way, go to the YouTube channel and subscribe. We always have stuff, and keep watching. We're going to be doing a couple shows here at the Combustion Lounge. Bombshell's going out of town to help Grandma Jean. Grandma Jean's having an operation, so Bombshell. You're like super hot Mother Teresa. That's what you want.
Yeah, obviously, I'm going to be thinking nasty thoughts about her in my head the whole time, though.
This crazy old lady. No, you be nicer. Be nice.
Can't stop the snark. Can't stop it.
Kill the snark. Don't kill the snark.
It's not her. I'm kidding. I don't think bad thoughts about her. It's
She's
other
awesome.
people.
Yeah, but we do not. I think we. I noticed it too. The last 4 years I got angrier because
impatient.
But it just seemed like it was everybody. If you noticed it in public, everybody's angry. Don't be angry. Try. By the way, do me a favor. You can be a dick later, but pick kind first. And then if it doesn't work out, get a baseball bat. No, that's bad advice. Just pick kind first.
That's hard. That's a hard thing to. Okay.
But you
I'm
have
on
to-
board.
But it
I'm
is.
on board.
It's like it's managing your mind
Yeah.
to pick kind first. Even if it's someone you don't agree with, I can just get like this now. Okay, bro, whatever. Just walk away. Because I'll start a fight. Anyways, back to wrapping up. Go to Christopher Titus TV on YouTube or ChristopherTitus.com to see what we're doing, or CombustionLive.com to see our shows coming up. Pandemic's not over yet. Wear your mask. Be safe. For myself, Bombshell Ray, Chaplin, and the Hylinder. Later.
Peace out.
Oh.
Let's do 80s hair band.
Oh, wow.
There could be only one Titus Podcast. Ow!
Grouchy got up. Like, what the hell?
Just wake up. What are we doing now?